We started in 1991 when residents of Upper Northwest DC joined with local businesses and congregations to open a welcome center in a small blue house in the neighborhood. They wanted to reach out to homeless neighbors after the community opposed the opening of a large-scale shelter nearby. Our founders provided a warm, welcoming, home-like place of acceptance for homeless men and women to drop in on weekdays. Since then, we've greatly expanded our services, but our mission is the same: to empower men, women, and families living in homelessness to rebuild their lives with the involvement of the community. We want everyone in the DC community and the nation to have a place to call home. We're creating rapid response systems that are strong enough to catch people either just before or right after they lose their housing, thereby eliminating chronic homelessness. We're building effective models of action with partners in both the public and private sectors. We're expanding each of our divisions: Neighbors First, providing permanent supportive housing; Veterans First, a 90-day program that finds homes, jobs, and benefit connections for military families; Aim Higher, our job placement program; and the Welcome Center, serving those still living on the streets. With a staff of fewer than 50 people, we help more than 1,200 people a year, with success rates that top the national averages. We do this by building relationships with community partners. People who've left homelessness with our assistance often come back to volunteer. Landlords and employers who have worked with us open their doors to our participants because we make our placements work and they know it. People volunteer with us because they know they are part of an effective movement to end homelessness. Our goal is to get people in housing and help them stay there. That sounds simple, but it's actually quite complex. We work on a very personal basis. The model is person-driven. The key is building trusting relationships. Friendship Place is a community of empowered participants, active board members, many of whom volunteer in our programs, staff and volunteers who are passionate about the mission and are well-trained in best practices. We know how to build competent and ethical relationships so folks can rebuild their lives. When someone arrives at our door, it's not just for an appointment with a case manager. There is a whole community waiting to help. Each division collects data to set goals and demonstrate outcomes. We get results. We have the highest retention rate in DC for all Housing First providers, more than 95% annually since the program began in 2008. The national average is 85%. We have expanded the scope of our Veterans First program, serving over twice as many veterans and their families since we began. The Department of Veterans Affairs ranked us in the top 10% of over 300 providers and appointed us to mentor others. Aim Higher, our job placement program, places people in jobs in just over 60 days and finds housing solutions for them in under 3 months. A lot of people think of soup kitchens and overnight shelters when they think about homeless services. There's no question we need to have the one-day solutions, but our focus is on lasting impact, on ending homelessness and rebuilding lives. Permanent solutions. Our blended funding base gives us the flexibility to say yes to most everyone seeking services. Some initiatives are publicly funded, like Veterans First, Others are privately funded, like Aim Higher and Direct Housing, which provides rental assistance to tide someone over while they stabilize their income. By offering the right tools, we empower our participants to rebuild their lives. We help everyone. You don't have to be clean and sober. That philosophy was a revolution when we adopted it in 2008. Now, our non-judgmental, flexible approach has worked so well that we are a national leader in eradicating homelessness. We are successfully housing 7 times as many people as we were back then. We've expanded beyond our neighborhood to serve the entire region. We've added job services. We've added homelessness prevention and rapid rehousing for veterans. We now serve families. We offer all who come our deepest respect, and they respond with renewed strength to tackle their deepest challenges. Prior to 2008, we were a neighborhood organization. When the opportunity came to expand to the city level and then to the whole region, some of our supporters were uneasy. They were concerned about losing the special feeling of community that Friendship Place has. We had to convince them that we were ready to answer to a greater calling. We are the secular partner for 26 congregations, and people understood that calling. Our board guided our growth. Now, even though we've grown, we've kept that strong, welcoming sense of community. Everyone who walks in the door feels it. We would house more people and get more people into jobs. We could do more street outreach. We could have longer hours at the Welcome Center. We could hire a staff member for Direct Housing, which fast-tracks people from homelessness into private market housing. We could hire an employment specialist to work with ex-offenders and another specialist to work with the LGBTQ community. These are folks who are showing up at our door needing our help. At Friendship Place, when we see a need, we create a solution. Thanks to private funding, we can be responsive like this. We could work to make sure that every youth in the city is safe by helping those who are aging out of DC's extensive foster care system with finding jobs and housing. We could concentrate on young families under age 25. We could help veterans who don't qualify for our VA-funded program. That could be because they were dishonorably discharged, or perhaps their income is slightly higher than the cutoff, but they still can't afford housing. No veterans should be on the street.